it's not even like, it's not as simple like I can do it better. That almost feels inaccurate. It's that like I'm going to do this with all my knowledge, my vision, my care, how much time and attention I put into thinking about this. I'm going to take all of that and my experience and put it into what I do for my business. And how do I summarize that so that you understand how to take even an iota of that and apply that to you doing something for my business? Like, that's how I feel.
Welcome to another episode of What It's Like to Be You. I'm Josh Levine, your host, and on this show, I interview accurately typed guests about their experience as their Enneagram type so you can understand what it's like to be each type from the inside. Today, my guest is Elisa, who is a self-pres sexual 3-wing 2 with 7-wing 6 and 8-wing 7 fixes. So that's 3-7-8 trifix, which means triple assertive. And this conversation was absolutely fascinating in terms of comparing Elisa's experience as a core 3-wing 2 with my experience as a core 3-wing 2, especially because so many aspects of our typing are different. I'm social dominant, she is social blind. I am triple attachment, so that's 3-9-6, and she is triple assertive. And so just understanding the overlap of where our core 3-wing 2 works for us, like certain common 3-wing 2 themes, self-actualization, constant need to self-improve, enjoying the spotlight, teaching, helping others. And this thing of, I think that's misunderstood about threes, of when threes become obsessed with something, or it's like an inspiration catches like a fire. And there is the feeling inside of nothing can stop me, nothing will stop me. And so all that stuff is kind of core to the assertive 3 structure. But despite that, it was fascinating to understand how Elisa is self-actualizing without reference to the typical social constructs that we think of when we think of type 3. And so this conversation defied a lot of 3 stereotypes that you might have read in certain textbooks. And also it was interesting to hear how her experience of being a core 3, or how her type 3-ness functions in her overall psyche, differs from mine, in the sense that for me as a triple attachment 3, I have 6 and 9 fixes that I feel like I'm sometimes dragging along to be as assertive as I'd like to be. Whereas for Elisa, she has 7 and 8 fixes, which are very assertive energies. And so her type 3 calibrating sensibility or polishing sensibility allows her to not be as flippant or rude or as bull in a china shop as maybe she would be with another core type supported by 7 and 8. And so, yeah, kind of just like different opposite functions of core 3-ness. But again, a lot of the same core 3 things that we care about, especially around self-actualization and being all I can be and all that kind of stuff. So really good stuff in this conversation. And if you'd like to learn more about what type 3 is or about the Enneagram, then come check us out at the enneagramschool.com. You can read all of our type descriptions on the website, as well as check out our intro course. And without further ado, I am very excited for you to learn from Elisa. Okay, so as a way in, I think, let me just tell you my intention here.
Okay.
I have an agenda in this conversation to understand how it's possible to be a 3 social blind.
Well, it's possible.
I sort of like, I can't, just because I'm social 3, I can't, it's so hard for me to even conceive of how a person could be a 3 without social. And so I'm really curious about your experience.
Okay.
Let's I kind of want to set this up from in a little bit of an autobiographical way. I know that you started your own studio to teach pole dancing and other kinds of acrobatic type of what would you call it? Circus type?
Circus, yes.
Circus, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you say what that is, what your studio is, what you do, and how you got into it?
Yeah, so my studio is called Ultraviolet Pole and Circ in Toronto. It is a pole and circus studio. We teach adults from beginner to advanced in both circus and pole. And it's definitely like everything's definitely on the more on the erotic side because pole has its roots in stripping, essentially, or definitely. But I would say circus is I mean, its roots are also not the most. Like they're pretty interesting and shady, probably shadier than stripping if you think about it. But yeah, it's a great space. I love running it. It's a lot of work. I get overwhelmed all the time, but I love running it. And I started it. It's been 10 years now. We're actually working on expansion, which is like something I've dreamed about for pretty much since I started. When I started, I was already thinking of like where we were going to take it. And I'm going to start with sort of like a small expansion now because the unit next door to mine became available. So I'm like, seeing if how that's going to work and how I can like marry the two together. But yeah, so that's what I do.
Okay. Um, just already actually, the word expansion is probably worthwhile just to comment on because you have
Yeah.
all three assertive types in your trifix.
hmm
Um, what does expansion mean to you? What's the dream?
The dream is so the space I have right now is beautiful. It's lovely. It's 2,200 square feet. It has two rooms, one for circus, one for pole. I would say the pole studio is almost perfect. Like there's a few things I would change. There's some upgrades I could definitely give it, but the circus space I have is gorgeous, but the ceilings are low for circus. So at some point I would love to have a studio or a space with higher ceilings. So that would probably be a bit down the line, like a year or two, I think. Like I don't like the unit next door is it's like 12 square feet or 12 feet ceilings. Like it's not
Hmm.
that high. It's like barely 3 meters, something like that. But it's it'll at least allow us like some growth and some space to grow. So yeah, eventually I'd like to have a larger space and I'd like to offer more programming. I'd like to like really grow our community, have a bigger community. We have a really great studio. We have a really great curriculum I created for the studio and it is really unique. I don't think other studios have what or do what we do. Like they're very like, oh, here's a beginner class and you just learn some stuff. But ours is like
Right, right.
very it's very specific and it's based on like physical development, like how bodies learn and how the nervous system works, and also how like the way I see it is like it's sort of like a skeleton I've created, and like instructors can really like put like fill it in with their own creativity and their own individuality, but it's a really strong structure and skeleton that anyone can build from and like anyone can use to learn any of the things we teach, if that makes sense. I think this is the best way to
Yeah,
say
it
it.
does. And also, I guess what I'm getting from what you're saying is that you take students into more advanced territory than a typical studio.
Yeah, we have really great instruction. Like it's fantastic. I would say like I could market a lot more, but a lot of our marketing like is word of mouth because students just have such good experiences and people hear about us and hear about how good our classes are that that's like one of the main ways we get students. And we get like your students that like continue to come all the time because that's really where you make your money is like people who come consistently. Like that's your bread and butter in a business. It's like your repeat customers, right? People who like
Hmm. Hmm.
need your business for their survival almost. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I want to just mention that I'm already hearing some three stuff in what you're just saying, kind of
Hmm.
the pride of being well regarded, of getting the referrals, that word of mouth kind of thing. I can relate to that certainly as a myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but um, just real quick though, on expansion, does that mean like more studios? Is it like, are you trying to create a franchise, or is it just bigger spaces, or more advanced curriculum for more students, or?
I don't think I would franchise. I
Mhm.
don't think I maybe in the future, like maybe if I was old and I really couldn't do the stuff that I'm doing right now, I might consider it, but I don't think I would franchise. I think I would have more studios or I would move to a bigger space. Like I would move to a space that's like double the size and double the ceiling height and whatnot. So that would probably be my goal when it comes to expansion. Like I think I would prefer to, like taking on the unit next door, like wouldn't be a second studio. That would just be like our studio growing larger, right?
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
think,
Mhm.
yeah. So I don't think I would have multiple studios. I have had multiple studios. It's really difficult. Like I
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah.
So I think I would rather have one big space and then kind of go from there. Because every time you open up a studio or do these expansions, like it's a new learning curve. Like you really have to adjust everything. It's like everything shifts, so it's really difficult to just like open up multiple spaces, if that makes sense. And like I don't know if
Hmm.
I'd franchise. I feel like no one would do it as good as me.
Yeah.
It's so true though. I don't know. Like it's I feel like they'd ruin it. They would.
Yeah.
They probably would.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Um, okay, let me think about where to go here.
Sorry. I mean, I
No,
know that
I
was like
no no no
arrogant,
no
but
no no. I actually I loved. I mean, it's worth commenting on that. Actually, just
yeah.
it's the three competence plus the seven fix. Just the I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like the truth. Like I've thought about this. Like
The truth. It's the truth. It's the truth.
I've
I have
thought
to say,
about it. Yeah.
I kind of do get it. Actually, though, I do get it.
Yeah.
I
Well,
do.
also because
Yeah.
I think I've created my business for me. So I
Hmm.
feel like it's not even an arrogant thing like, oh, you couldn't be as good as me. It's like I've created my business within the scope of what I'm capable of. Like to just hand
Hmm.
that off to another person, like I'm
Right.
crazy. Like no one can do the things I do. Like no, it's not possible.
Um. Okay. I have a lot of questions about
Okay.
just this whole territory. What is maybe maybe getting to the core of it? Like, what's important to you
Hmm.
about your business or about the content that you're teaching?
Wow. So how I'm perceived is really important. Which is interesting because I'm social blind, but I think it's more like a um it's not about reputation, it's about like I don't know how to put it. I guess it's like how do people it's like a trust, like do they trust like it's almost like I want people to put their trust in me that like I can do this for them or set this up for them or teach them. It's like it's not yeah, like so how I'm perceived is important. I don't like it when people don't think I can't do something. That
Can
to me
relate. Yeah.
yeah, like when someone's like, "Oh, you can't do that." I'm
Hmm.
like, "Okay, whatever," you know? Um
Uh huh.
what else is important? Oh my God. These questions are like, you know why they're difficult? It's because what I initially want to say, I feel like isn't really true, if that makes sense. Do you ever get
Okay.
that? Someone asks you a really deep question
Yes,
and
absolutely.
you
That happens to me. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you want to answer, but then you're like, no, wait, that's not it. Like what's
Yeah.
really
I've had.
important to me?
Well, I have had. I mean, I don't know if you relate to this, but I think this is more like my Bermuda thing, but also social is like I can be so attuned to like keeping a connection going that when someone asks me a question, like it's more about like how do I say this? It's like my actually I bet that you probably don't relate to this, but I'm curious. Like
Hmm.
I speak so. Let me get my words around this. Hold on.
Yeah. Take your time.
Okay, it just happened. That was okay. That was the thing
Yeah.
where like when I turn my face this way and I'm breathing and I'm reconnecting to myself, I'm like, oh right, this is the self content that can actually produce an answer to a question. But when I'm not connected to that and I'm just in the interaction, then it just feels like I'm socializing, if that makes sense. But
Right.
there could be a difficulty for me to um, maintain contact with an other and also contact with myself at the same time, and that's been a practice.
Right.
Yeah.
Um yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I think so too. I think the connection is sort of like a flow state, right? So then
Hmm.
once you get into it, it's almost like when you ask a question like that, that really makes you go inside yourself. It's kind of like breaking the flow state,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know. I think to go back to your question, I don't know why I didn't think of this initially, but I would say, to be honest, probably the most important thing to me is autonomy. I think that's the most important thing, to be honest. And that's why I became a studio owner, a business owner, is to not do what I want, but I knew that like I know this might be an ADHD thing more than my Enneagram type, but I know that I cannot go to the same place for 8 hours a day. I can't do it. Like I used to be a bartender, and there were like some shifts that I would end up spending like hours in the restaurant, but usually it wasn't like that long, you know. It was like, yo, you're there for maybe 6 hours max, and that was even a long time. But at this point in my life, like the thought of going to any one place every single day and staying there for hours and hours, like I can't do it. Like
Hmm.
even my own studio, if I have like a 5 hour day at the studio, I'm like, whoa,
Is
long
it the
day.
physical location, just the staleness of having been in one
I think
room?
so. I need to move. I can't be in any one place. I get tired. I get like I think human beings, I think this happens to everyone, but maybe not in the same way, but especially someone with ADHD, like we're idea machines. And like I feel like if I'm always in one place all the time, like it's like I can't think. My brain can't like expand. It can't like do anything. Like I'm always
Mhm.
just getting in the same information, and you're not actually learning and growing and doing anything. I would say maybe that's not the case for my studio, since like it's it's beautiful. I've built it and I have the ability to kind of come and go as I please for the most part. So if I have to be there for many hours on end, it's usually not that bad. But I
Mhm.
think going to like a, I don't know, like a fluorescent lighting gray cubicle office, like I, that sounds like death, honestly.
Yeah, I guess we're. It feels like we might be in or near self-pres sexual territory, like the importance of the atmosphere and how it resonates with my, I don't know, like mood tone or um, I don't know. I have a struggle with the words around that, but yeah,
No,
do
you're
you? Is that
right.
yeah?
You're right. Because when I was a bartender, I worked at this one place and our uniform was like an LBD, like a little black dress, super cute. But I bartended another place and they wanted us to wear like black jeans and like this ugly t-shirt and like sneakers. And I lasted there like, I was there for like 3 months. I couldn't handle it.
Okay.
I couldn't. Literally, I
Yeah.
was like, if I can't look nice where I'm going,
Hmm.
it's not for me. Like I,
Yeah. Yeah. Um, is it so autonomy super important for you? I get this. So that plus the kind of freedom to just shift environments or change or just kind of not answer to anyone and just to
yeah.
have the freedom to expand when you need to expand and kind of do that thing. But what about the this like the actual content? Like you're teaching pole dancing, you're teaching
Hmm.
circus, you're teaching stuff that has an erotic twist, or actually
Hmm.
not twist, but like eroticism is at the center of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like an add-on like ornamentation. It's part of it's the soul of the thing. At least it seems to me.
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
that's
yeah, what is it that like? Can you tell me how you got into it? What grabbed you about it? How you knew it was for you?
um so okay, it's actually a funny story. So I used to have this friend, this nine wing nine friend. I should probably nine wing one. And we were 20 or 21 when we met and we started pole dancing together. No, we were 20 because I remember I was 20 when I started pole dancing. She was like, she was like this hot Russian girl. She's like, let's take pole dancing. So we did. I was obsessed. I like my whole life, I don't really want to get into like traumatic childhood, but my parents never let me be a dancer, and all I wanted to do is be a dancer. Like I just dreamed of being this like perfect ballerina on stage. And my parents put my sister in ballet and not me, so it was almost like a double slap in the face. So when I was like 20 and she was like, let's try pole, I was like, yeah, of course. Like I had kind of heard about these classes and I had my own money to spend and I was like, let's go. So we went and took pole classes. And then like a year and a half into us taking pole class, I was obsessed, like obsessed. Like I would go as often as I could, like 2, 3 times a week. Like
Hmm.
it was like I couldn't like get enough of it. The sexiness of it, like the eroticism, the dancing, like how powerful it makes you feel because you can actually do these things with your body. And I was young and fit enough that I could pick up, not easily, but I could pick it up. Let's just say that. Um, and then like a year and a half in, we found out that the studio we were going to in Richmond Hill, where we live, was closing. And she was like, let's open up our own pole studio. And I have a 7 fix. So I was like, okay, like literally. So we did. So we purchased a franchise, like, cause that studio was franchised at the time, and we opened up our own studio. And it was like, I lasted a year. I could not handle her. She was just like
This is
so
still
difficult.
your Russian friend?
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
We're not friends. I haven't talked to her since then. That was like
Okay.
2008.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we have not talked since then. This girl was just like, we just didn't vibe. We just did not like I was such a baby. I was like 22 years old. And we got like a loan from the bank that her mom co-signed for us. Like
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
like literally. So but like after a year, I sold my half of the studio to her, made $0, was actually in the red because like I had spent so much money on the studio and we obviously didn't make our money back in a year. So I got a job bartending and I just like paid off my debts and like still trained circus and pole, and I started performing pole. Like I started go-go dancing, loved
Uh-huh.
go. I only recently retired from go-go dancing. So I was go-go dancer, I was pole dancing, I
Mm-hmm.
started performing, I was obsessed, I wanted to perform more, I was taking more circus. And then I was teaching here and there, but I made so much money bartending that I stopped teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah. So anyways, so then in 2015, I thought I was bartending and I was like, you know what? I kind of don't want to do a job that's not like in my industry. Like I want to focus fully on like pole, circus, whatever, like either be a performer, be an instructor, like just I didn't want to bartend anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
that's when I was like, I'm going to open my own studio. So I ended up buying a studio that already existed and like doing a lease takeover, but it was a very small space. So I plan on growing it. And then, yeah, then the rest is here we are today. So that's how I got into it. And that's how I ended up where I was. But how did I like open up a studio? It really was that Russian girl, Nadia, that was like, let's open a studio. And I was like, okay. And then I realized, oh, I think I can like do this.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. I'll use the phrase like reckless self belief. Just like, yeah, sure, I'll just do it. Well, like we'll build a studio. And you
Yeah.
were how young at the
I
time?
was 22.
22.
So
And
dumb.
also, didn't you also were you also in school for a vocal performance or
Oh
something like that?
yeah, yeah.
And you dropped out?
I was doing a BFA in
Yeah.
vocal music at York University, and I dropped out to open up my business. Well, I had already opened my business, and I realized like, what am I doing? I was like, I don't want to do this, and I dropped out.
Was the school a grad school program?
No, it was my bachelor. Like
Was
I
your
never
bachelor's?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And so you dropped out of school to
Mhm.
to to build this studio. Um, Sort of didn't work out with your business partner. You sold it. Got into bartending, and then but still had the dream, and then ended up kind of and also were go-go dancing sort of to support
Yes.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I considered going into stripping actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I've always like even now since I have a partner right now, you know, not really probably not something I'm gonna go into, but I love strippers and I love the idea of it. I don't know if you want to get into that, but
I'd love to. Let's. Yeah.
I didn't end up going into it at the time because I had some stripper friends and I was making so much money bartending and they were like, honestly, like you may as well just stay where you're making money and so I did, but it was something I considered for sure. I don't know
Really,
what it
but so
is.
yeah, you considered it, but you were persuaded not to just because you were really a self-pres concern. It was just better money to bartend,
Yeah,
or it was stable.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was
Okay.
making cold hard cash. Like I was and it was such a like I wouldn't say it's easier, like maybe it is, maybe it's not. It's hard to say, but yeah, like it was just I just ended up I was more like I'm already here. I'm already
Mm-hmm.
doing this job. I already know it. I was being promoted to supervisor, so I was like, oh, I may as well just stay here. That was why. Like
Yeah. How do you relate to the I guess I'll just use like the social stigma around I don't know, eroticism, female dancing, stripping, all that kind of stuff.
When I started, I found it really annoying because I had a lot of like straight male friends and they were huge dicks about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of stopped being friends with straight males. Like I
Okay. Okay. That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Like
Yeah.
you
Seven
know,
fixed there too. Yeah.
I have a saying like the trash takes itself out, but like it's kind of like it happens so organically. I have
Uh,
nothing against men. I love men. I'm a very neo-feminist, but I have nothing against men. You will not hear me sit here and say I hate men or anything like that. I love my partner. He is amazing. He's an amazing man. I love men. But yeah, I felt that group in particular was like they were like it was like underhanded they would say like misogynistic jokes and stuff like
yeah.
that. And I was like, oh,
Hmm.
I'm just not gonna hang out with you guys anymore. So
Yeah.
yeah. It was bad at first. Now I don't think I'm in those spaces. Like I don't put myself like it's funny because sometimes I hear students talk about it and I'm like, oh, no one ever says anything to me about being a pole dancer. But like I'm never in a space or a situation where someone's gonna be like, oh, you're a pole dancing slut or what I can I swear? Like I don't know if that's
Yes,
like
please. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
okay, yeah. But so, like I've gotten it. I've gotten men say like, "Oh, you're a pole dancer. Come dance on my pole," or whatever stupid shit men say. Like, yeah, those men. Not
Sorry for
all
my
men.
gender.
Not all men. I'm not. Yeah, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I don't feel like I'm. But my parents don't approve of what I do, and they tell me all the time.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that. And because this is something that struck me when we first talked, is that your parents don't approve, but it doesn't really affect you, right? Or does it?
It doesn't. It doesn't. Like it does. It doesn't in the sense that like I'm doing it. I'm not going to
You're going to do
stop
it anyway. Yeah.
doing.
You're not.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not going
Yeah.
to not
Yeah.
do it because you don't like it, but it does in the sense that like, yeah, I mean, I did some therapy this past year, and that therapy was really to like get over some childhood traumas, and this was one of them. Was like, oh, I'm in my mid 30s, and my mom like doesn't love what I do. Like that hurts. That hurts my feelings. That like
Yeah.
hurts me. Like it's
Mhm.
sort of like an acknowledgement of the feeling, you know.
I wondered
So,
about that when we last talked, because especially as a heart type, and I mean, as a three, right? It's like I don't know. I experience, for better or worse, like I'm very affected by the approval of my parents, the people that matter to me. I want them to believe in me and to approve of what I do. And when they don't, it's not going to necessarily like, okay, I don't know.
so
Maybe
if they
just say,
said don't do this, we don't
mhm.
approve, would you like not do it?
No, I wouldn't. And so this is
Oh
okay. This
wow.
like, let me actually say a little, just, this will be useful context.
Mm,
So when I was 24, I had like gone to an Ivy League school and I came back and I was like going through a big philosophical journey around like realizing how inauthentically I had been living, and I'd never done anything for myself. I'd always been jumping through society's hoops and all the classic kind of social Bermuda Three stuff.
mm-hmm.
And I had a really big, um, and I don't know, there's a whole history which I don't have to get into. But when I was 24, I I had this big realization, and I realized that I wanted to live authentically, and I wanted to do, and what that meant for me at the time was I wanted to become a professional piano player, and so that's what I did. And so
Wow.
I didn't know how to play piano, and I learned, and I got a job as a dueling piano bar player in
Oh my
Houston.
God, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so I was and I played piano and sang 4 or 5 nights a week for years, for like 6 years, as part of
That's
because like huge
incredible.
phase. Yeah. And ran into a lot of disapproval, as you can imagine, from my parents, grandparents. You're throwing away your Princeton education, whatever. Like, but I was so consumed with a fire that I had to do this, and this is kind of, I guess, I'm finding myself actually kind of I didn't put this together how much I relate to the way that you like go-go dancing just took a hold of you. That's
Yeah.
how it was for me too with piano. It was just like, I can't not do this. If I don't do this, I will die a living death,
Yeah.
and I can't. And it was enough to sustain like a certain kind of fortitude despite resistance from my parents, grandparents, and social context. And so
Oh wow.
I guess this is something kind of important to say about three in general that I think is, I don't know, not talked about enough or not understood well, is that when something when something hits at the level of like, this is what I have to do for myself. This is who I am. Like this. some whatever this thing is allowing me to express, or what this path of self-development or whatever it is, like this thing
Mhm.
is essential to me, and there's a kind of like a fire that gets lit inside that has to be honored. um and I don't know, do you relate to that phrasing?
Yeah, I do. I do. And it's funny because I'm also thinking like it's interesting, but I think Joseph, who's like my best friend, is like I think he's
Hmm.
like that too. Like
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
he's like not a three, four wing three, but he gets like if he has gets his like mind on something, like
Hmm.
you can't convince him that he's not doing it.
That makes sense.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
interesting because I think the same thing of myself. And I think that in my life, in my experience, I almost feel like I've always been like that, but it wasn't until I got my partner, my partner who I'm with now. We've been together 10 years, pretty much since I opened my studio.
Hmm.
And it feels like I wouldn't say it hurts him that I'm like this, but it definitely affects him because he's very opposite. He's very like, slow down, think about it, research. And meanwhile, I'm like full speed ahead, like running towards something maybe I shouldn't even be running towards. And that's definitely hurt us in the past. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, it's interesting you're saying this because I think it's a good thing. I think in I think COVID was really what taught me to like kind of slow that down though. Like it almost felt like it dulled my spirit. I don't know if you had this happen. I don't know what COVID was like for you. Some people thrived in it. I did not. Um, so I think it kind of like it almost feels like it's been what 4 or 5 years since COVID and I'm still like recovering from this like dampening of that spark. Like it's,
Whoa.
if that makes sense. Yeah. Like I had
That's
a rough
interesting.
time over
Really?
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Really rough time.
What was the deal?
So, my partner and I decided to invest in a larger studio space. It was like a beautiful 44-foot ceiling, 7,000 square foot warehouse. It was a lot
Whoa.
of money. It was stunning. And we signed the lease for it on February 27th,
Oh my God.
2020.
Oh, that's brutal. Wow.
Yeah. So we invested all this money and tried to open it and like we couldn't. And it was like I feel like we maybe almost didn't make it as a couple. Like it was so hard on both of us. And it was like it was so sad because he had always helped me with stuff with my business and had always been there for me and extremely supportive. But this was like him really putting himself forward and really just like immersing himself in my world. And even though business is such a risky endeavor, like I had never experienced this kind of loss. So it sucks that the first time I kind of like pulled him in, it was like a huge loss for both of us. So like we lost a ton of money, time, effort. Like it was just awful. So there was a whole bunch of issues with the landlord. Like it was just a mess. And so recovering from that, like yeah, so
Hmm.
that was a huge it almost felt like when we lost the space, like it almost felt to me like I had lost a person. It was like I had to grieve something. So
Yeah.
it was yeah, it
Yeah.
was like I have my space now. We've been there for 4 years. I'm super happy. We're ready for expansion. It's been amazing, but yeah, it was a
Well,
big
I could imagine. I mean, just and I hope I'm not projecting too much of my own threeness onto you,
no.
but it feels like there's. I mean, what I'm experiencing as resonant about that is like, you know, so much of as a three, like our identities are invested in what we do, for better or worse. And it's like, this is manifest destiny. I've bought the space. This is like what I'm supposed to have done with my life. This is who I am now. This is like my new home for myself, my life, my work, my purpose. And it can't happen anymore. Just, it's like, it's not just a grief about a space, right? It's a grief about an identity, a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a throat punch. Like it was
Yeah. Yeah.
horrific. And it's funny you're saying about the identity thing. I still feel that like I take stuff so personally. It's like really sad. It's like I kind of, that's something I was also working on in therapy and I'm working on in like other ways now because I'm not seeing I not in therapy right now. But it's hard to like it's so hard
What,
to like sorry, go ahead.
well, what do you mean by personal? What do you take personally?
Oh my God, anything. Like if someone says something like sometimes if someone says something nice about a different studio, I'm like mad. Like, how dare you? How dare you? Like, it's like your partner calling someone else attractive. You're like, excuse me? Like, and like over time, like I've even gotten over that. Like if like my partner would never, he's such a good man, but if he was ever like, oh, that girl's really cute, like he'd never say that. But if he did, like I think I probably wouldn't care as much because like we're so comfortable and I know he'd never, but like it's one of those things where someone, yeah, says something about nice about someone else's studio. I'm like, excuse me? Like, or like if one of my students is going somewhere else, like I would never say anything to them. I really internalize it. Like I don't let anyone else like I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
crazy. Like I need to chill and like it's not offensive, but yeah, I'll feel it. I'm working on it.
Well, I'm trying to place that enneagrammatically. I mean, I guess there's like three competition and like the scarcity of positive attention, and I sort of I get that, but also you have 7 and 8 fixes too, right? It's
Yeah.
like 8 wing 7, kind of I don't know, there's something energetically uh, about that I'm tuning into. But actually, one thing I wanted to ask you about is you said this was fascinating to me that you feel that being a core 3 that helps you sort of keep a lid on otherwise what would be like a much more explosive or I don't know assertive inappropriate or whatever type of like expression, especially with 7 and 8 fixes.
Yes.
Whereas interestingly for me is this is something that's different about us with 9 and 6 fixes. I feel like 3 is kind of like this engine that's trying to pull like this train, that's like
Yeah.
lagging behind me. Like 9 wants to take it easy and slow. 6 is like, I don't know, am I doing this right? But the three's out front, like, no, let's fucking go. And
Yeah.
you've got this. It's interesting how our core 3 things kind of
They're
function
opposite.
differently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I find that really interesting. Because I guess 3 is the most assertive out of the attachment types, like 3, 6, 9. Like
Yeah.
it's pulling you out. And for me, I feel like 7 and 8 are like if I was social blind with a 7 and 8 fix and like any other type or any core type, like if I was core 7 or core 8, I think I'd be a mess. Or I'd at least be like not a very like I'd be untenable probably to be around. Like you probably would like hate me. But I think because I'm 3 and because I have this first of all, I have this belief that I can do and learn anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I believe it. And when you believe things, sometimes not always, but sometimes it's usually
I
enough.
relate. I relate to what you're
Yeah,
saying.
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
And then also, I think the 3, like there's an inherent socialness to 3. So I think being social blind and then being 3 has almost saved me because 3 wing 2, especially, like if I was 3 wing 4, I would just be a bitch. But if 3 wing 2, it's like, it's true. A 3 wing 2 is like a bit more warm. It's a bit more like outgoing and affection. I'm a very affectionate person. Like I don't have
Mm-hmm.
any issue saying nice things to people. Like they come out really easily. And so it's easy. It's been, I wouldn't say it's been easy for me to learn how to be social. And also like I've done a bunch of jobs like bartending and like bartending is hospitality. Like you basically, and when I was a bartender, I had to basically like it was I was a bartender in like a financial district. So it was like all men that came in. So you really have to
Okay. Yeah.
learn the
Yeah.
social
Yeah.
game.
Mm-hmm.
And then being a studio owner has been so like illuminating in the social
Wait.
world. Just
Say more about the social game. What is the social game? And then I'm curious how it connects to business
so
as
the
well.
social game is
Yeah.
how you interact with other people. And it's like how you're perceived. It's the things you say. It's how you like let and it's like the dance that you guys do. You guys are
Mm-hmm.
like hanging out and you're, you know, figuring stuff out together. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like social sometimes is like it is what you say, but it's like how like you're like, hi, how are you? I'm fine, how are you? Oh my god, nice weather we're having, like that kind of thing. It's like but it's like it's
Mm-hmm.
banal and meaningless, but it's actually not. Like we actually live in those little things. And sometimes like you might think, oh, like people say all the time, I hate small talk, and it's like, okay, we get it, like you're boring, fine, like, and you just can't think of anything more interesting to say and you hate it, like whatever. But for me, I always think like, well, it's true, but for me I always
Yeah.
think
It's right.
like it's like we're just saying, it's like we're making nice noises at each other. It's like I make little cute noises at my cat, and she knows I'm like nice and she like rubs against me. It's like it's just telling someone else that you're nice. Like that's all that is. And it's
Yeah.
important. Like I think, right? Like is it
It's important.
am I doing it? Like
I, I'm just laughing because your 7 picks is so funny to me. It's like
oh.
because well, you have this like willingness to just be flippant about something, but also you're saying things that are really precise, like accurate. Like I haven't disagreed with anything you've said.
Okay.
It's just funny.
Yeah, like it's a game and it's like I
Yeah.
have to think about it. Like I can't like and it's exhausting. Like sometimes I'm literally like I can't speak to people anymore. Like I if you want to talk to me, I'm going to be a bitch. Like it's like I can't put on this.
Hmm.
And it's not that I'm a
Yeah.
bitch all the time or that my default is the bitchiness, but it's sort of like it's just a boundary that sometimes you have to set up eventually where I'm like I'm tired.
So what did you have to learn, like in terms of being social blind? Like you mentioned that like Joseph helped you kind of understand social and the
He
point of
did.
it, and also that you had to learn it in terms of like you're building a business that it has a community as a huge part of it. You know,
Well, I had to learn a lot. I've never really like it's so funny. I wish Joseph were here because he probably laugh, but it's like I've had to learn not to be like a cunt. Like I not like I'd say the most important lesson I learned is you can't just say anything that comes to your head. Like you can't just like blurt it out. Like that's not okay. Um and it's worse because I have ADHD and I have a lot of vocal stims. And like, if you lived with me, you might hate it. Or like, if you ever had to share space with me, like, I could be really fucking annoying. My partner, like, is really good about it. Like, he never complains. And if he has earphones, he'll pop them in if I'm being really annoying. I also sing and play music. I sing all the time. I'm always singing something. Like it's so in public, you have to kind of dim that down. Like you can't just like walk around saying stuff. And like I'm extremely crass. Like Joseph and I have spent like our entire like we met when we were 14, so we were still kids and we were like crass as fuck like when we were younger. So I had to learn to kind of like tone that down. Um, I'm extremely blunt. I had to really dial that back, especially as a studio owner. I basically had to learn that like other people like have feelings and you can't just like say whatever you want because like you'll say something and it actually won't even mean that much to you, but it will like hurt them. Like
yeah,
I didn't know that. Like I didn't think about it. Like when you're social blind, you don't automatically care about other people. Like you I don't know how do I put this. You do, but you don't care about them in a superficial sense. Like social is like I have to care about like you reacting to me in this interaction. And I do. Like I'm having fun here and like I respect you and you seem to know a lot about what you're talking about and you're great and I've heard great things from Joseph, but like, so this is fine, but like if I'm meeting someone on the street or if I'm like talking to someone at the studio and I'm kind of like, I don't really care what you're saying, like I can't like act like I don't care. Like I have to like not feign interest, but I actually
yes,
try
yeah,
to
yeah.
be genuinely interested.
The
Like,
faint.
sorry, I was just gonna say, I've heard, like I watch couples therapy and I've heard Dr. Ornish say you have to be curious. And I think that's what I've really tried to practice is like, I'm not faking being interested. I'm actually trying to be curious,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
for the purpose of what?
For the purpose of like not being a bitch, I guess, like having some sort of like because I am like an extrovert. Like I would consider myself an introverted extrovert. So with the right people, I get my energy from other people. Like if I'm teaching a great class, my students are all having fun and like we're all just like kikiing and vibing, then like I feel amazing after. I'm
Hmm. Hmm.
tired, but I feel amazing. But um yeah, so I guess, yeah. Sorry, it was long.
Well, I'm trying to tease out like because you do have okay, you have 7 and 8 wing 7 in
Hmm.
your trifix, and there's a lot of like flippance and like who cares and dismissiveness that can come with that, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like teasing that out, teasing out that versus like social blind or not, sort of not caring. I guess one way I think about social is, um, this is maybe like a compressed way of understanding it, but it's like when you meet someone, there's like an immediate way that I can contextualize them as like the baseball card version of who they are. Like, here's their
Hmm.
stats, here are the organizations they belong to, here's the category of social that they belong to. Like, um not that I could populate like a spreadsheet or whatever, or actually maybe I could, but it's not like a spreadsheet comes into my mind. It's just sort of an awareness of like, okay, this person is, I don't know, a dancer, or they were on an athlete, or they were probably in a frat as a kid, or they're a finance
Right.
bro, or
Hmm.
there's like these social archetypes, um, and there's a certain kind of way. Uh, let's see, and almost, I hate to use the word formulaic, but there's a kind of like way that certain archetypes of people relate to each other, across the kind of social void. Um, anyway, my point is that there's this awareness of like what type of person you are, um, what I would expect to be inside, like important to you, what your social boundaries are, what you would what kind of behavior you would want to experience from me to feel like seen and respected. And with social blind, um, my experience of most people who are social blind is that they're just not tracking that. At least it's not. They can summon themselves into that awareness if they really like open their eyes and like look, but it's just so not happening for them in a natural way. But this is why it's confusing for me, to like find the wormhole between my inner universe and yours, because as a three, I imagine that you're also on some level tracking other people's gaze and what's valuable to them or something like that. So I don't know, where do you go with all that?
Interesting. Um, I think I am actually tracking that in a sense, but I think it's more subconscious, like it's kind of under the surface. Like I'm not consciously like pinpointing all these details and like writing out the formula or the baseball card. Like I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think because it might actually be like a trauma response because I grew up with someone who what a 911 who was very like not very honest about what they were feeling or about what they expected. So I thought I it's almost like I had to like know what other like it's like I have to anticipate this person's needs for my own safety.
I see. Yeah.
So I think I do pick up on
Mm-hmm.
that, but it actually maybe even has nothing to do with my type and has helped me be social because I was talking to Joseph about this earlier today where I was talking about how being a three wing two, I feel like I can really anticipate people's needs around me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I've like it's a skill I think maybe I've learned or I've taught myself for something, but it's something that I think has also helped me as a social blind person
Yeah, with the
because
interpersonal two-ness, that makes sense. Yeah, that
yeah.
does.
And
Yeah.
then I think if I've had to do it for like trauma, like it's something like I kind of am always scanning. I don't know that I'm always hyper conscious of it though or hyper aware of it. It's sometimes it registers in me almost as like a like it's like you get a weird feeling and then you're like, oh, I have to like think about this later. And then later I'll be like, oh, that person actually said something weird or did something weird and I didn't clock it right away. Like I
Hmm.
find I have this like delayed reaction, which also might be the social blindness. Whereas later I'll be like, oh, wait, that was weird. Like that happens to me all the time with social interactions. In the moment, I have
Oh,
no fucking idea what's happening. And then later I'm like, oh, that was so weird. Like that was not okay.
that makes sense.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's
like I do actually realize it. It's just a very delayed response. Like I'm not in the moment always like
okay.
pinpointing something as I'm getting better at it though.
That tracks. That tracks. Yeah, I kind of relate to that from like my sexual blind spot, where it's like,
Hmm.
I don't know, hours after an interaction, somebody will say, "Hey, did you notice that like so and so was trying to flirt with you?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's what that was."
Uh,
Like, oh,
mm, yeah,
Um,
you pick it up
but
later.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Much to whatever.
Well,
So
yeah, because
that.
like the third instinct is still there. Like it's a
Yeah.
blind spot, but that's not actually an accurate term. It's just not as it's just the third thing. So the other two are more important because that's just the way your brain is wired. But the third thing is not blind. It's just you don't see it as much, but it's still there. If that makes sense?
It does. I actually do think blind spot is an accurate term, but I agree. Like you can focus your attention there if you choose, because
Yeah.
it's not like it's not happening at all. It's not
Yeah.
turned off. It's just it's in the
Right.
background and it's
I mean,
way deprioritized. Yeah.
I guess like we think like or I think of I'm going to speak for myself like if you say
Hmm.
someone's like blind I think they can't see but really in the literal sense blind people usually have some vision. I mean if we're being extremely literal. So maybe the term is accurate. I don't know. I don't love it though cuz when someone
Yeah.
says, "Oh,
Yeah.
you're social blind." I'm like, "Yeah, but again, it doesn't mean I like don't ever think of anything social."
Yeah.
Like
But
in
is this
fact,
but is this your three response of like, don't tell me I can't do social, or is
maybe
okay?
maybe.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't really know that many people with Enneagram. Really just would be me and Joseph talking. So it's nice to
Okay.
talk to other people who know about it. It really
Okay.
is.
Okay. Okay. Um, do you so as three wing two? Do you have? I imagine this is true. You were kind of already alluding to it, but like drawing a sense of satisfaction from helping your students self-actualize um, in the kind of domain that you're helping teach them.
Um, I do and I don't. I
Really?
don't, yeah, it's funny. Like, I love teaching. I feel, but you know what it is? It's really interesting lately. It's something I've actually been grappling with lately because I'm teaching too much. And there is a such thing as too much of a good thing. And as a studio owner, I don't love the relationship I have with teaching because it always feels like, oh, I can't find anyone to teach this class, so I have to teach it. So kind of being
Oh,
forced into doing it gives this weird sort of like and then it's a
yep,
difficult
yep.
job, like it's a physical job. You have to be fully on, like focused on your students for the whole time. I have to come up with new fucking things to teach them every week. Like it's exhausting, it's planning. I have to go to the studio. It's not like I can just sit here on my
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
computer and talk to the phone or whatever, like some multitasker and do other things while I'm working. Like I have to go to the studio and be there and talk to people, and people always want to talk to me and whatever. So it's like it can be really exhausting to teach. Um, yeah, I also I like being on display. Like I like being the center of attention.
Yes,
Like
yeah, yeah,
Joseph and I
yeah.
talk about this all the time. He like hates it. I'm like, no, I like it. I like want to be desired and like looked at, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's yeah, but it's interesting. Like I don't know that I get the same. Like I'm proud of my students. I love them. I don't gatekeep anything. Like I want them to have all the information they need, and like I'll help them do anything. I do think it's my job as someone who's been doing this for so long to pass on all this information. Um, but I don't know that I'm like, oh my God, I'm like so happy that you did it. Yeah, I'm just like, great, let's work on the next thing. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't feel like I'm happy, like I'm proud, but I always feel like it's not about me. Like this is their journey. Like I really don't make it about me. I think that's probably also what makes me a good instructor is sometimes people are teachers because they make it about them, but like I literally my classes are not about me, and I think that's why they sometimes get so exhausting. So maybe I should make it a bit more about me, but it's like I'm completely selfless. Like this is all about you and your journey. I'm here to help, and like that's it. Like I'm not going to take credit for your accomplishments. So like yeah, I don't know why I'm like that though, because that doesn't sound very three, does it?
It's
It's too
making my brain
nice.
short circuit because
Really?
I'm like, yeah, yeah. Because where do I go with that? What I was expecting you to say was something like yeah, as a three wing two, I love having an impact on people and inspiring them, and being the kind of person who people like look up to and feel inspired by. Um, and I mean, so I do get the burnout situation. And the kind of begrudging I have to fucking summon
Yeah.
myself to get to fucking teach a class. I get that. Um, but yeah, no, I wasn't prepared for the almost like impersonalness of your answer. Um, with a three with a two fix or sorry, a two wing.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's being social blind. I have no
Could be
idea.
that could be That could be.
Yeah, like I just
But you know what
don't
it also though is I think there's something too about it's triple assertive. It's just sort of like you do have like an energy like with the eight fix. There's a more self-contained like I'm over here, you're over there. Like this is I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing. I will I'm going to impact you with this thing I'm offering, and then you're going to take that and do whatever you want with it. But there's a kind of like there's not with the nine fix a kind of melding of energies um,
No,
that
you're
there
actually you're so right. That's very true. Like Joseph and I talk about this all the time because I also like Joseph's the type of person like I sorry I talk about him a lot because he's like a
That's
sibling.
fine.
We're like so
Yeah.
close, but
Mm-hmm.
we're s- we're so opposite in that sense because like if I'm doing something like let's say in the past like I dated a guy in high school that he didn't like he'd be like why are you dating this guy blah 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 blah, blah. Like he would try to like almost convince me not to do it, but with me and I think it is an affix thing like I would tell my friend if I didn't think that they were doing something that I didn't like I would definitely vocalize it's not that I don't speak up for myself but I don't tell people what to do. You know, I don't really tell, it doesn't feel natural for me to tell my friends what to do. Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I actually don't do that, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
it's not so when it comes to teaching, like for sure, I tell you what to do then, like and I can step into that role or you know, even with my partner if we're like there are times where he tells me what to do, there's and with his strengths and vice versa, like I can step into that role right away, but with people, I feel like this sort of like I don't want to control it. Like I'm supposed to control you because I do feel this separation between us. Like I can't make you do anything. You know, I don't feel that sort of like manipulation that I think socials feel. Like I don't manipulate people. Like I don't even try it. I don't want someone to ever do something because I'm like forcing you or coercing you in some way. So, yeah, I guess like it's interesting, but I it's partially this like eights have this like because my dad is an eight. He's like very complicated man. He's 864. And so I have some experience with eights and he's like this too. Like like it's very like I care about you, but I don't care. You know, like I'm not gonna go out of my way to like make you do something. Like they're not
Mm-hmm.
manipulative. It's like what you see is what you get.
It's
I
not
mean, that might not
enmeshment. It's
always.
yeah. It's not enmeshed. It's bounded. Right. It's like sort of
Yeah.
two solid block entities interacting as opposed to getting entangled in each other.
It's what you said about like the nine just get enmeshed. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like not like that. I don't get
Mm-hmm.
enmeshed. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
here to help, but like it's you. Like if you're hiring me to teach you, it's not about me. Like I'm just gonna, you know. So I guess I also maybe that's part of why it's so exhausting for me though, because I don't really put
Yeah.
myself maybe I should be thinking of it in a different lens because it is exhausting to like really just because I like kikiing. I like back and forth. Like me and Joseph can hang out for hours. We can spend days together. We can travel together. Same with me and my partner because there's like a back and forth. But when it's just you, like being you know,
Mm-hmm.
like that's exhausting. Like I don't want that, you know?
Yeah.
If that's sorry, I
Yeah.
feel like I tangented.
How do you? So I guess maybe something I'm kind of understanding at this point is that your business really is for you. It's like it's a bit. It's a. I'm not sure this is the right word for it, but it's like it supports a lifestyle. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it totally does. It does. Like it's
Or
something I
actually,
created.
and let me say
Go ahead.
like what I mean by that is like it supports a lifestyle that's like personal. It allows you to stay in your own energy. It gives you the freedom to do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But the I don't know, like the meaning and vocation and like I don't know, sense of self actualization or drawing from it is not
Yep.
necessarily the impact that you're having on your students. It's kind of like is that true? Am I overstating it?
It's true. Like we definitely want to have an
Yeah,
impact,
yeah, yeah.
but I guess it's just not I don't know. Like we definitely want to have an impact, like and we
Yes.
do,
Yeah.
but I think I think especially with adults like people don't really know how to center themselves or really do things for themselves. So I think actually like learning and teaching in this way where like I think it might actually be better for our business than like the enmeshment.
Oh, I understand
because
that. Yeah, I get that.
I think it means
Hmm.
that the individual can really shine like authentically,
Hmm.
really, like as an instructor, like because like I look at, for example, my parents don't like what I do because like I don't know, my mom's like a nine, like 'cause she sees me as like an extension of herself, like she doesn't see me as like a separate human being. Like I'm your kid, yeah, you gave birth to me, you raised me, whatever, and you did a great job, but like I'm still not you. I'm not like a good choir like church girl, like it's not who I am. So you have these expectations, but like they're not really, you know what I mean, like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's almost like when you have kids or when you're teaching someone, like your goals should be, I want you to be able to safely execute this without me. Because otherwise, what's the point? Like, you shouldn't need, like Dumbledore had to die. Like, you can't just have daddy around all the time, you know? So, if that makes sense, like,
Yes.
you
Yes.
need to kind of like set your little birdies free and let them live their own life. Otherwise, like, what's the point? Like, they're always going to depend on you. And that's not necessarily good. But I mean, I guess in some way you want them to depend on you because you want them to come act to your business, but they will. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah. I don't know
Sorry.
what no, I don't know what else to say there. I don't know how to tie a bow on that, but I found that whole discussion really striking because
Yeah.
um, it's there's such a degree of like respect for others' sovereignty and just like you're you, I'm me. This is you're here because it's a part of your journey, and for the hour that we're together, like I'm gonna offer you this class, and then you're gonna go take that however you take it. There's something that feels kind of I don't know, almost like refreshingly like separate about that actually,
Yeah.
like
Well, like,
yeah.
do you, I guess, like, is that like that's not what other people do? This is me as a social blind. I'm always like, so what are you guys doing? Like, I don't know, like I'm just sort of figuring stuff out and then being like, oh, that's just something I do. Not everyone does this, or vice versa.
Well, let me put it this way. For me, like I do executive coaching.
Hmm.
And it's like deep one-on-one relationships. It's adjacent to a certain kind of therapy, and it's and I work with founders and investors who, especially with founders, like their identities invested in their business and stuff. They come to me and
Hmm.
they're they're one of the ways that I've had to grow as a coach is to maintain more separateness, and not to feel um, let's see how to put not to overly draw a sense of social nourishment and validation from a kind of accidental enmeshment with my clients, or like the satisfaction that
Interesting.
I'm providing something that's really valuable for them. They're coming back to me. They really value me and my relation and all that kind of stuff. Um, that that was a blind spot for me earlier in my career as a coach, and it was very painful to discover because I realized like just I realized that like as clients, these relationships are not supposed to last forever. You're supposed to coach someone.
Mm.
They take what they get from you, and then they go and on their merry way, just like you
Hmm.
said, like they leave the nest. And there can be, I think, with the enmeshment stuff of the attachment, especially with 3 being 2 plus triple attachment, a hidden kind of grabbiness, of like of course I want you to succeed, but I want you to be grateful to me. I want to maintain our connection. And when I
Mm.
realized that that was happening as clients were like departing, and I was like grieving, that was hard. So I've had to learn a lot more.
Oh.
I've had to learn more. Just I don't know, preemptive boundedness with my clients, and it's made me a much more effective coach to maintain separation, and it's much healthier. But that's like we talk about transference and countertransference in these kinds of coaching relationships. That's how countertransference was showing up for me.
So what exactly is the transference? Is it like energy?
Well, just I guess the term it just means how how your clients are projecting their psychological material from early relationships onto you,
Right.
and then countertransference is how you're doing the same with them. And so as a therapist or a coach, it's really important to be aware of the ways that countertransference is happening. It's just a fancy academic term to just say, how are your psychological patterns showing up and occluding the way you see your clients or are able to show up for them and what they need? Because especially if you're a coach and you're, I don't know, if your psychological dynamics of enmeshment are playing out with your clients, then one of the things that prevents is you being able to tell them hard truths when they need to hear it, because that can feel like it will disrupt your safety with them. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So there's
Yeah.
all, I mean, that's a whole thing to get into, but
So it's interesting that you're saying this, because it's like sometimes, like when my clients tell me I'm a good teacher or they compliment me, it gets like I get immediately uncomfortable. It's almost like, no, you're not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to be supporting you, not like the other way around.
oh,
It's
okay.
nice, like I want,
Yeah.
like I feel good when they say these things, and I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I'm a good teacher. Like I'm excited, but I do feel really uncomfortable right away, because I'm like, oh, I don't know how to deal with that. Like I don't. I mean, I'm not great with compliments, like I am, and I'm not, but yeah, like I find I feel like I get compliments where someone's like, "Oh my God, you're such a good teacher." Like if they come to me after class and they say it, it's like great. But sometimes if I'm like in the moment and I'm teaching and someone's like, "Oh, I like the way you do this," or whatever, like it definitely like shifts me out of that like flow state of teaching. Like I do feel uncomfortable. I'm like, "Oh, I'm like, you don't have to say that." Sometimes I'm like, it's weird. Like it's almost like I really want to maintain this like that separation. And when your students are like complimenting you, or sometimes they'll demonstrate something and they're like, "Oh my God, you made that look so easy." And it's like, I'm the coach. If I didn't make it look easy, then I wouldn't be the coach. And it's lovely. It's a lovely compliment. But then am I supposed to be like, "Oh my God, thanks." Like like it's just kind of an uncomfortable moment for me.
Yeah.
And I think some people get off on that. They're like, "Oh my God, wow, she loves me." It's like, but I don't. Like I feel uncomfortable. Like I'm like, you don't have to like I'm literally getting paid to demo my skills to you who don't have the skills. So of course I'm gonna make it look easy. Like if I didn't, then I shouldn't have this job. So it's like,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, like I get uncomfortable.
Yes. So are there other places where as a three you are more like hoping for, wanting, comfortable with other people's like adoration?
Well, I love performing. I love being
Yeah.
like a
Okay.
slut
Yeah.
on stage.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, like
Okay.
love it.
Say more about that sentence. What does that phrasing mean to you, and why is it important?
Like being a slut on stage.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, it feels natural to me to be expressive sexually.
Mm-hmm.
Like that
Mm-hmm.
comes
Yeah.
naturally to me
So
as a dancer, as a mover.
mm-hmm.
Like,
It's SX like play zone in the second
yeah,
spot there. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always this I feel like sexuals are always like cutting themselves open and showing themselves to you. It's like being on stage already is like a sense of vulnerability, like you're kind of showing yourself. But I
Mm-hmm.
find that most people who do it who are sexual blind, it's this very sort of like I'm kind of like hiding, but I'm here. And then me being like 378, I'm like almost like here it is. Like, and I wouldn't necessarily say I'm like that in like a very crass sense on stage, because I can be very flirty actually. And I think self-pressed sexual is a little bit more coy and flirty. It's kind of like I like to think of it as like someone's like inviting you back, like a spider kind of inviting you
Into the
back.
cave.
Like,
Yeah, I agree. I agree with
yeah,
that. That's actually a great metaphor. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like come into my lair, like come in here,
Mm-hmm.
like come into this space, like I'm inviting you, like I want you to want to be here. I don't want to just throw it in your face, which I
Yeah.
think is the eight. Like, like because there are people who will just like, even like, well, stripping is stripping. Like you're always going to be like rubbing your pussy and whatever. Like that's just what it is. But like even when you're not doing that, there are some people who are very like, here it is, here's my show. Like I'm seven core, or whatever, and I find that like no, you kind of want to set the scene and like invite people into your space and like have them make the choice to come in. Like it's not even necessarily a consent thing. I mean, it is, but it's like, I want you to want to be here. I want you to want to come into this space.
It's not
But
forcing
once,
chemistry. It's like
yeah,
yeah, yeah, they opt into it.
yeah, but then once we're here, like let's party. Like, well,
Yeah.
but it's very much like I'm gonna put myself out there and give like a little tease, and then, but my energy is like pretty intense, like on stage. Some like I can definitely get like hardcore, I guess. But yeah, I do like being on stage. I really do. It
Yeah,
feels
yeah.
very natural. Like it's not something I ever learned. Like I never
Mm-hmm.
had stage frights from the age of a child. Like I just don't care. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's social blind with eight. Like I just,
Yeah, yeah.
and sevens love being center of attention.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all of that, right? It's triple assert, it's all that social blend. But even just the way that you're claiming the word slut in this empowering way,
Yeah.
you know, without I don't know, it's not even my experience is that it's not even in reference to like the social milieu of how that word is held. It's just like just it's a word that feels good to say or something like that.
Yeah, it is. And
Yeah.
I've actually read a lot of feminist lit about how that's like not always a good thing because in
Mm-hmm.
some societies and some cultures like being a slut is just always going to mean something negative, like no matter what. Like it's like they can't reclaim it because there's this argument with feminists that like, some feminists are like we need to reclaim this language and some feminists are like we can't do that. Like it's, we're Muslim or we're
I
whatever.
see.
Like I'm
Yeah.
not going to call myself that. Like it still has this like negative connotation. So it's like it's an interesting argument where like it's hard to like kind of make everyone happy, I guess, but I feel like I can't not reclaim this language. Like I can't, like it again, it feels like it's just part of me, especially at
Mm-hmm.
this point in my life,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if that makes
But so
sense.
yeah, but performing, I mean, period.
Mhm.
Performing in this way that's displaying your sexuality, being in the spotlight, being adored for your performance, your hotness, what I just
Yeah.
all that whole thing is is a place where you're comfortable receiving that kind of like positive gaze. Um,
Yes.
yeah, which is interesting too because it's let's see how to put it. It's you know what's funny is like what's coming to me is that in a deep way it's like it's a cleaner gaze exchange than the one between teacher student that you were talking about before.
What
You
do you
know,
mean?
what I mean is like let's see how to put this. In the teacher
Cleaner.
student thing, you're kind of like, no, don't adore me. Like focus on you, your growth or whatever. Like the point of this is not for you to like be wowed by me. I'm providing a service
Mm-hmm.
to help you on your way. Whereas in the case of being on stage, it's like the point of this is for you to look at me, and the thing that I'm doing now is displaying myself, and these are the terms of this exchange.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It is a cleaner exchange. It's literally
Yeah.
like I'm giving you permission to look at me now.
Yeah.
Whereas like
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
an instructor, I want you to look at me, but I want you to look at me in order to learn something and apply it to yourself. But
Mm-hmm.
when it's an audience, it's like I'm inviting you into this space, like I'm commanding this space. Now it's like my space, if that makes sense. And I'm
Yes.
inviting you here. Like I want you to be here. Um, but your job is to appreciate, like that's your job, and if you don't like it, don't look, like that's
Mm-hmm.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because I perform in a restaurant on the weekends, and like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people like, I mean most people care because it's pretty cool, we're doing like fire and stuff, but
Okay.
some people like are eating their dinner, maybe they're not paying attention. Like I don't care whether you're looking or not, but if you are, it's like yes, this is like the time to like adore or be excited or be, think about it more, whatever, like it's important. So yeah,
Yeah. I have a
that's
question about
true.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking about you as a competence type, and I know that you have built your own curriculum
Hmm.
for your studio, and also I was just wondering about how you approach dancing or any of the circus acrobatic kind of apparatus that you do from a competence point of view. Like, do you just or I don't know. There's a couple other words I want to throw in here as a prompt, like the athleticism of it, the um, the physical intensity of it, um, the all of that stuff strikes me as kind of three, like the way that you could kind of approach it like a craft, and then hone your craft.
Yes. um yeah, I mean, it's interesting because yeah, interesting. So like I see, it's so funny because I don't even know like I created my curriculum like years ago, and to be honest, like what sparked it was the fact that there wasn't one. Like pole
Okay.
is very like nowadays, like it's been 17, 18 years since I started. So I've been doing this for like half my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I started in 2008, it was still so new. Like it was maybe like 10, 15 years old. Like before the like early to mid 90s, pole dancing was in strip clubs and that's it. And then one stripper named Fania in like Vegas, like she started teaching other strippers and then she realized, oh, like this is a good workout. Like I could teach like regular folks how to do this. Like they call them civvies or civilians. Like I could teach
Civilian.
civilians, yeah, which because like being a sex worker can sometimes feel like you're
Sure.
on the
Yeah.
front lines of like a social battle because you're like the bottom of the stigmatized barrel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's like I can teach people how to do this, and so she like basically started this like global craze where pole dancing became like an amazing workout. But it was so new and no one had really like it's not like gymnastics or ballet where there is like a very specific set of rules and goals and names and like you have to learn this and that. So it's even though like each ballet and each choreography is different, like the foundational, the skills, like all the movements are there and listed and they all have names and etc. But with pole, it's like I don't know, we call one move like the butterfly and like somewhere else on the other side of the world they're going to call it like the crocodile. Like it's so not like
Standardized.
yeah, standardized, that's
Yeah.
exactly the word, thank you. So it was missing, like it was something that was, it was a very key point that was missing, and so I felt like I had to create it. I'm like, this does not exist. Like I had to put together a curriculum. So I started that curriculum like actually when I left my first studio, I had already started it. I was already starting it because it was missing. And then when I opened my second studio, that was another thing that was missing was there's no studio that is both circus and pole because there's so much stigma. I mean, it's getting better now. Like at like 2025, we're in Toronto. We're in a very liberal city, so it's like starting to get to the point where like people are less, you know, they're less scared of the stigmatized like thing, this like slutty thing. But even in Toronto, I still find Toronto very conservative, and there's still some circus people who like don't think pole and circus should be together, like they're these two separate things, and they are. Like now that I've run a business, like you kind of see like certain people take pole and they don't take circus and vice versa, like it
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
kind of like
I see.
that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because of the stigma.
And that's the social thing, like social category thing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I really wanted to like
Yeah.
mesh them together. That was like me being like, I'm like, why are these things separated? Like it didn't make sense. I did them both, I love them
Mm-hmm.
both. And there are other people out there who are the same as me. They do them both, you know? And nowadays, everyone sort of just wants to try everything. We're like a kid in the playground, like, I want that toy, I want that toy. And they try all the different apparatuses. But like, I think when we started, like, this stuff was missing. So I did it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was
Strikes
that.
me. Yeah, it strikes me as we've talked. Like I was thinking about the three lines to 9 and 6. I don't know how familiar you are with the like the directions of integration disintegration thing, which
Maybe not very much. I don't know.
it's um very briefly like some schools teach it that like threes will when they're less healthy disintegrate to 9, so they take on the less healthy qualities of 9, and then when they're healthy they take on some of the positive qualities of 6. So those are the lines of integration and disintegration.
Oh,
I actually think it's
interesting.
yeah, my personal opinion is that it's actually more complicated that you kind of do both in both directions. But
Yeah.
yeah, but one of the what was coming to me was um this like one of the ways that 3 moves to 6 in a healthy way you could say is this kind of when something resonates with my whole being, then my being becomes like almost like a devotional service offering to that thing. And so it's like this thing doesn't exist in this space. This curriculum doesn't exist, standardization doesn't exist. And so now I'm discovering that my purpose is to provide this thing,
Yeah.
kind of like providing scaffolding, structure, support within um, I keep wanting to use social words, but they're not, I don't know. I was going to use the word community, but it's not exactly
Well,
that. It's
I
more
mean,
like
it is.
this art form, you know, like
Right. It's
Yeah.
in the industry, like it is.
Industry.
Community
Yeah.
is not a bad word to use, I would say, like because we do have a really like wonderful, thriving community in our space. Like it is a beautiful community, that's for
Hmm.
sure. So yeah, like I think that's an okay word to use. And yeah, I would say industry wise, like, and I think other studios have like tried to put together a curriculum. And I'm like, your curriculum shit. Like it's
Yeah.
not at all. It doesn't even hold a
Okay.
candle.
Yeah.
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 I know I sound
That's
so cocky, but it's like, it's
honestly, it's giving me life as a three. I'm just like, yes, this is the monologue that I have in my head often that I don't externalize. Like,
well, it's so funny because like I think we're also like, or I know I'm also treated like, oh, you got to be like, or you shouldn't be arrogant and whatever. But really, if you look at other pole studios, like it's like no, like it's just because people open up. Look,
yeah.
people open up pole studios. Like it's
Hmm.
probably different. It's a different type of business. Like you see women do this mostly. It's because it's like 90% of 99% of studio owners are women. You see women do this all the time. They open up a studio because they just like love pole. It's like it's the stupidest reason to open up a business. You open up a business because you want to open up a business, because you like business, because you want to run a business. If you open up a business because you like pole, you're probably going to fail or not make any money. You know what I mean? Like liking pole isn't a business, but I did that. That's what I did when I was 22. I was like, oh my God, I love this. I'm going to just open up a business. Nadia said it was okay. Like we just did it. And I had to learn the hard way that I was like, okay, I have to like fucking buckle up and like actually learn how to run a
Be a
business.
business owner. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not the same thing as just liking something. So it's something it's probably rampant in all industries, but
I'm
especially in pole.
I'm learning it now also in the Enneagram as well.
Yeah.
It's a similar thing. Yeah. But wait, but back to the craft thing. Do you
Right.
approach your craft like a craft? Like, is it like, do you, or did you at some point kind of consciously uh, seek to improve your craft in the way that like one might practice piano or something like that?
Well, yeah, like all the time. Like if you're not improving, then like what are you doing? You're just
Okay.
existing? Like that's fine. Okay, that's okay. I mean, if that's what you want to do. But yeah, like all I do is like improve and work and train. We call it training. Like I go
Yeah.
and
All right. Okay. Yeah.
I do like 10 pull-ups and then next week I try to do 11 and like it's the same thing with the curriculum. Is like every year I run instructor training and I like revamp the curriculum and I like take some stuff away and adjust it and change it and like so every year, especially our lower levels because we run those trainings the most, they get a revamp and they're, adjusted and, changed and sometimes more often than that. So yeah, we're always improving. I feel like every single day I get up and I'm like, how can I do this better? Like every day, maybe like
Yes.
10 times a day, I'm like, how can I do this better? And
Yeah.
and
I
it,
mean,
and
that's
it's funny, right? Because like if you look back, I do this all the time. Sometimes I look back at myself like 10 years ago, and I'm like, oh my God, I was such shit, and I feel really bad. I'm like, I can't believe that was me. But then I'm like, but I'm better now, right? Like, and if you look back and you're like, oh, I was so good. Like, if you're actually looking back at yourself and saying like, oh my God, I was so good, like
yeah.
that
So
sucks for you.
is that sensibility still alive? Like, are you still I don't know. Is it right to use the word obsessed with self improvement?
Yeah, I'm definitely obsessed with self-improvement. I wouldn't even
Okay.
say I'm obsessed because like I don't again, this is one part of three that I don't think is conscious. It's just like it's like breathing.
Just baseline.
Yeah.
I'm super there with you. I'm super
Yeah.
there.
You
Yeah.
just do it. You always have to be improving. You always have to up the ante. You always have to up the goal. And it sucks. It really actually fucking sucks sometimes because sometimes I'm like, I could sit down for 5 minutes and be proud of myself instead of always trying to fucking achieve the next thing and then being upset if I can't achieve it. But it's, I don't do that. I'm not like, oh
You
my God,
don't.
I'm
So you're
so proud. No,
even with the
never.
seven fix. I what you're like. Yeah. What's your relationship with celebration is minimal.
Yeah, completely minimal, especially with my like traumatic childhood where I was like told I was shit all the time. Like I have such a bad relationship with like self praise, like I don't ever do that. I'm always like, okay, next. What's next? Let's make it better.
Wow.
Let's
Okay.
just keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like to my detriment. It's probably not a good thing.
Well,
I
plus
don't.
there's triple assertive. You got a lot of forward motion energy
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Um, okay. I know you don't want to talk about trauma in childhood, but are you willing to talk about just what you were like as a kid? And
Oh,
yeah.
honestly, I'd be willing to talk about the trauma. I just don't want to make it like, oh my God, I had such a traumatic childhood. Like, I don't want to like make it like a sob story. That's like a very eight thing. I feel like we don't play victim very well. Like, I don't
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
being the victim.
Okay. So
Um,
however you want to say it, I'm curious.
yeah, but I don't mind talking about it. You can even ask about anything. So
Okay.
what, sorry, the question was, what was I like as a child?
What were you like as a child? And also, can you say some of the things like what did you experience that you, I don't know, reacted to, or what was formative for you?
Uh, what was I like as a child? I was crazy. Um, like crazy, like too much energy. Even now, I can't sit still. Like I can't. I should have like brought something to play with my hands because like I feel like I can't sit still for 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I said whatever I wanted to, which was not always good. I didn't. I was not good at relationships. Like I didn't realize that like the how friendships worked. Like I didn't
Okay.
realize
Yeah.
that
Okay.
like social was this like reciprocal thing. Like I didn't. Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, I was like, I hated school. I thought school was stupid. I didn't do homework. I just refused to do it. I just didn't want to do it. I thought school, having to sit in one place for 8 hours was like traumatic. Like it was awful.
That's amazing because I just quick on that because as a three, I guess it's just this is part more I don't know more texture around your social blindness, but also triple assertive. But it's just like as a social three Bermuda myself, I was raised in a family where school was really important, and I loved school, and I
You did? Well, you went to Princeton, so
yes,
yeah.
yeah. I had an amazing high school. There were 39 kids in my graduating class. It was very
Oh,
small.
wow.
I had a lot of attunement. Yeah, it was amazing. It was like summer camp all year long. Um, but my point is that I don't know, like it would not have been even available to me in my consciousness the option not to do school or to slough off or not to do my homework or to at least not keep up the image that I'm like trying to be a good student, you know.
Yeah, I
And there
did
was
not
I ended
care.
up yeah okay, so that's
That's
interesting.
so funny. It is
Yeah.
really interesting. So, like, but did you enjoy it? Like, you actually wanted it?
I did, yeah. I mean, and then I have not to paint my own sob story, but I had trauma related to school as well. And then
Mm.
I struggled with cheating in school, and then I had like a whole journey of like confronting all the shame around that. That was a
Oh,
whole part of my
wow.
three journey. Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
but that was part of like me as a social three absorbing the expectation of you have to be excellent at this thing, and Bermuda kind of adapting into it, but then also unhealthy three kind of I don't know, cutting corners and the deceptiveness of three and stuff like that. So that's
Right.
kind of part of my story. But yeah, but you just decided not to. You just opted out altogether of school.
Yeah, I failed grade 10 math twice, two times.
Okay, and it
Yeah.
didn't bother you.
No.
Isn't that
I
amazing?
hated it. I thought it was so stupid. I was like,
That's
why do
just
I have to learn
amazing.
this? The only
Yeah,
reason
because
I even passed in the end was because it was like a 2 weeks of summer school and like I got like a D. I was like, I don't care about this. I just did not care. And you know what's funny is like I'm not stupid. Like I could read at the age of 3. I could read, I could play piano. I had perfect pitch at the age of 3. I could I was read like in grade 1, other kids would still be learning how to read. I was reading like novels. Like I was not a stupid kid. Like I was actually this is an ADHD thing too, probably. Like I couldn't sit still. And with ADHD, like it's not an attention deficit. It's like it's ADHD is when you have an attention like hyper focused but usually on the wrong thing. It's like it's not like something I can like turn on whenever I want. So other kids could go and sit in the class and focus on class, and like I wasn't always able to do that.
I get
So
it. Yeah,
yeah, I found that difficult. And then sitting still, I'm like, oh my god! Wanted to dance, and I wasn't able to dance. But like, I like excelled at music. I excel like I've never got less than 100% on an ear test. Like I've done like um I've done up to grade 8 piano, up to grade 10 voice exams. Like I'm not like an academic. I love to read. I can even now I sit and I read I all the time, like obsess, like I'll read almost anything. Like I'm not like not book smart. It's funny, but like I just it's like this weird institution of school that like I can't participate in. I don't do it. It's funny.
So what's crazy about that to me is that it's sort of defying the whole three stereotype of um, absorbing and trying to meet the expectations of my environment of what is considered like admirable, what you're supposed to do, or I don't know, maybe your family wasn't, or if your family did your family value school?
Oh yeah, like my
It did.
parents were always like, get an education, get an education. I just
Okay,
like
yeah. So
didn't.
there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's fascinating because but you're still constructing a sense of self-worth and identity around things you're good at, like that's where your attention is going. I mean, the last
Yeah.
2 minutes of you talking was like, I excelled at this, I was good at this, here's kind of, and those were, I don't know, maybe at that point pillars of your sense of self. And the stuff that you weren't good at, that you didn't care about, it just kind of like, it was, you were able to just cut that off, or not not I don't know how to put it, yeah,
Hmm.
not care about it, I guess.
Yeah, it was really just like I didn't care. Like I remember in grade 5, like I had this teacher who actually like gave a shit, and she would like call my mom and be like, "I don't understand. Elisa's so smart, but like she just doesn't do anything." Like cuz she would put me with like the gifted kids and stuff, and like I could like kiki with them and I could like get the work done, but like I did not want to do it. And I think back then too, I mean this was like early 2000s, like like 90s, early 2000s, but like I think also like they didn't even think that I thought I had ADHD, and they didn't even like consider that because they usually just diagnose it in boys and not girls. And I have like a high functioning form of ADHD, like it's a spectrum. So some people are extremely high functioning, which is me, and then there's some people who like they get into like the freeze sort of state where like they become overwhelmed and then they freeze, whereas like I'm the opposite. Like I don't ever get frozen, like I never feel that. But yeah, like I just couldn't participate. Like I just didn't care about this. Like I literally saw through the ruse of school. I'm like, all this shit is fake. It's just fake. Like none of it is real. Like
What's
what
the
I got to
ruse? Yeah, what do you mean by not real?
because like when you actually talk to some people who have an education, they're fucking idiots and they can't even hold a conversation. And there's sometimes like even some of like love my students, but some people I'll be like, oh my god, you have like a master's in this, and you think that they can hold a conversation, but they can't. Like it's so different to be like academically smart and be able to regurgitate information for testing and for like accolades than to actually apply that information. Like it's so different. It's actually completely different skills. And I learned at a young age that like good grades didn't mean good or very smart. Like it didn't mean anything. It literally is just a piece of paper that says you could regurgitate this. You memorize this information and you're throwing it back up for the
And you had a
test.
precocious, just you were aware of that at that age.
Yeah, like as a kid, I was like, this doesn't matter.
That's amazing. Yeah, I guess it's kind of coming together in my head now. How I'm getting it,
Sorry,
like where
that maybe was I didn't mean for it to be offensive against like anyone's education because I value education. So I don't want
I,
you to feel like I just
no,
insulted.
no, I didn't
Okay, good.
experience it that way.
Okay, good.
But it is this, I mean, education in the way that we have it is a social construct. You know, like we value a certain type of education, and I don't know. My personal opinion is education is happening always in every context, and it's not necessarily in the structured form of school. Anyway, there's a whole thing to say about that, which I can get on a social self-pros
Yeah, I
soapbox about
know.
that another
Yeah,
time.
same.
But
Yeah.
what's coming together for me is as you're talking about it, it's like you have this 8 fix practicality, like how is this actually like rubber meets the road gonna
Yeah.
work for you in your life, or what's this actually gonna do? You have a 7 fix willingness to just like be loyal to your own truth, I suppose,
Yeah. Yeah.
and not enmesh and attach into collective meaning making. And you have a 3 sense of, I don't know, competence and valuing yourself based on excellence, but it's supported by these two self-permissive, um, I don't know, I don't want to use the word countercultural, but I just mean kind of willing to distance yourself from the collective fixes. Does that make sense? So
Yeah, it does make
yeah,
a lot of sense, actually. I think it does. I think it's like, yeah, that's it, actually, because I've been very much like, I'm just gonna make my own way. Like, I'm just gonna do
yeah,
my own
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
never been afraid of that. I've never been like, oh, I shouldn't do that, or oh, that's scary. Like, no, I've been like, oh, that's better. It's like better. I'm happy, or I'm happier.
Hmm.
So like I just really couldn't like fit myself into this box.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
amazing.
I guess it sucks in some way though, because like I feel like I've achieved a lot, but I don't really have any like awards or accolades or like a diploma on the wall or anything. Like I have a business, but I think about that sometimes. I'm like, oh, I don't have any of those things, and like I don't really care. But I think about them in the lens that like other people see these things and like care about them. So then it makes me think, oh, like I guess that might be
Oh,
important.
so
Yeah.
that okay, so it does that does live in your psyche in some way, even in a small way.
I don't hold on to it, but it does
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, definitely. Especially as a studio owner, more so. Then I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, maybe I should like, sometimes I'm like, maybe I should just go get like a certification of something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just go get something. I don't know what that means, but people love that
Yeah.
shit. I'm certified. Like, I don't know. People love that. Like,
Yes,
it's a
I know it's
social thing.
I know it's so dumb. Yeah, but I agree. I agree. Yeah. I mean, it functions for me too. Like, well, I would say probably a lot more. I don't know. I would expect that things like certifications or accolades or the ways that other people's resumes compare or stack up is a thing that uh, a lot less now. Actually, a lot less now. But that was a journey for me to get over that for sure. For sure.
Well,
Yeah.
I think like if you're really good at something, it's gonna show. Like people are gonna like, yeah, I guess you have to do a certain level of marketing and self um
Hmm.
like um promotion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But if you are really good at something, like people are probably gonna know, like that you like come take a class and you'll see like, oh, okay, like like I know what I'm talking about. I don't might not be certified. I mean, I am. I actually have a certification I got like 15 years ago, but like I don't even think it was that good of a certification. But like I have done courses and I've spent thousands of dollars on like private lessons. I'm
There you
not
go.
one of
Yeah. Yeah.
those
Yeah.
I'm not one of those bitches that's going to be like, I'm self taught. I fucking hate that shit. No one's self
Hmm.
taught. If you're self taught, you're probably not that good. Like, you need other people to help you and teach you along the way. Like, you can't actually self teach yourself. That's probably very dangerous.
I have, yeah,
Sorry, go
I have
ahead.
this. No, I have the same reaction because people like when I tell my piano story, people will sometimes summarize it in a way that he's self-taught, but it's not true. I got teachers, and it's
Right.
um,
You
yeah,
still
no,
achieved all of that, but you
right,
can't, like, it's in your best interest to have people who are better than you come in and teach you things. Like, that's the way life should be. Is there should always be, like, you always should be learning something from someone. Like, that's what I think
yeah.
anyway.
It's just amazing how these like core three themes still exist in you in this extremely strong baseline way, with that just without all of the confusion of social or other attachment stuff going on. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it is. It does make sense, and it's interesting because yeah, these things do exist in me. It's just I think they just manifest differently, and I think I hold on to them differently.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because like again, like I don't care about all the accolades, so I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, if I'm thinking about it, it's like, oh, this would help me do better because other people might trust me more or something. Do you know what I mean? And that would
Yeah.
be a
Yeah.
reason why I'd get an accolade, not because I don't know, whatever
Yeah. Yeah.
social,
Yeah.
whatever people might get one. I don't know.
Do you have anything about like as a self-pres type? Um, I'm just thinking about how. Let me think how to put this. In one of the kind of theoretical framings of the Enneagram, what we're doing is we are trying to achieve our essence quality through the lens of our dominant instinct. So, like me as a social three, achieving essential value through the social instinct, like being well liked, being popular, um, having a well regarded place in the social milieu or whatever. And earlier, when I was a kid, or in college, that meant I was running for an officer in every group of mine. I was like trying to be popular big man on campus, that kind of thing. Um, but for you with self-pres, is there anything like that, like seeking essential value through lifestyle or resources or something like that?
Um, I think I do hold some worth on like productivity. I kind of hate saying that
Okay.
because like it's weird. Like I I own a business, but like I definitely have like complicated feelings about capitalism. And I feel like the world shouldn't force people to work the way that it does. Like we shouldn't be forced to
Yeah.
work in the way like I believe in UBI. I wish that we could just, we pay taxes, we could just get enough money for people to just do whatever the fuck they want. I don't think that's laziness. I don't think laziness exists. I think um you know what I mean? So like I have this like really socialist view of the world, and yet
Hmm.
I still hold my self-worth based on like my ability to be productive.
There you go. Yeah.
Um but that being said, I don't like ever really get upset or guilty if I don't get enough done in a day. So I only feel guilty if it's something like I had to finish. Like if I had to finish this
Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
task because we have something running the next day, then I'll feel guilty. But like that never
Right.
like that never happens. If
Well, you do.
something's due,
Yeah.
I get it
Yeah.
done. You're
You
a
do have
business owner. You have to.
the seven
Yeah.
like Teflon for guilt. Also, because with me as a six fix, I definitely have a lot.
You feel the
Guilt.
guilt.
Oh, I do. Oh, yeah. Guilt is it looms large in my psyche. I have to defend against it all the time.
You have to defend against.
Yeah.
Yeah, my partner's a
Yeah. Or
six, so I
wash
totally
it. Yeah.
understand that. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the like I don't feel shame. Like if I
Hmm.
am like, oh, I plan to do a bunch of work today, and then on the end of the day, I end up on the couch like reading my book. I'm just like, it's okay. Like literally, I can just be like, it's fine. Like I'll do it tomorrow. Like it'll get done. Like I, it's fine.
Man,
Like I don't
three
actually
supported
feel
by
the
seven
guilt.
is so different. That's
It's
crazy.
so
That's
different. Yeah,
crazy to me. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Like I'll get it
Whoa.
done. Like if it needs to get done, it's done. It's already done, or I'm delegating it. Otherwise, like like, and the only thing I feel a little bit of pressure now is summers can be slow, so I need to get my marketing done for the summer. But
Hmm.
again, that's
Hmm.
something that needs to get done. It's going to get done,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as a studio owner, I have an endless to-do list. I'm never going to be done doing all the things I need to do. So you
Hmm.
kind of have
Hmm.
to like just get over that,
Yeah, that makes
do what you
sense. Yeah.
can. And then I also just enjoy my leisure so much. Like I love reading. I love watching my TV shows. I love playing with my cats. I love like hanging out with Joseph, going for dinners. I love spending time with my partner. Like, so I love training. Like I want to stretch and whatever. But like that's the thing too, is I find that as a three, and maybe you can tell me this too, is like stretching and like doing some of my work and stuff like that, like certain tasks, like they don't feel like work. Like I'm actually just,
Oh,
you know what I mean?
absolutely. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it's like regulating to me.
Yeah. You
Like if
just
I
do
had,
it.
yeah, or actually, it's not only do just do it, but I would say it's like it's physiologically settling for me to actually be doing work or something like that. It's like, okay, I'm on the path. I'm doing the thing that I'm supposed to do. This
Yeah.
feels good. Yeah, I think it's really confusing for other types where it's like, why are you working so much all the time, or why like it's 9 o'clock? Why are you going to the gym? Or it's just like I gotta. I'm sorry, I just
Yeah.
gotta because I just have to. If I don't, I don't know. I'll go. I don't know. I just will go crazy, or just it's what I need, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Well, okay. Quick. I'm noticing the time. We'll probably
Mhm.
come to a close soon. But I wanted to circle back real quick about your childhood.
Mhm.
If
Oh,
there's anything
right.
else, if there's anything else there that is worth kind of just putting into context for how you became who you are. You've mentioned in a kind of like I don't know, sort of flippant way, like that there was sort of trauma in your childhood,
Yeah.
but you don't want to talk about it as if it's like it was like traumatic, like poor me.
I don't
Um,
like being a victim. I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
want to be a victim. I don't have a six fix. Sorry.
right, right. No, that's you're fine. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
victimize myself. I don't want to
Hmm.
be. I definitely. Oh, well, I'll say this. I have difficulty asking for help,
Hmm.
and I have difficulty delegating sometimes to my staff in the sense of like I like I I already know what people are usually capable of, and I know how and when someone's going to get something done, and that will approach how I delegate things, if that makes sense.
Interesting. Yeah.
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 Um,
Some 3-8 stem stuff there, probably.
hmm
Yeah.
And then as a kid, I guess well, I had to be like I'm hyper independent. I had to be hyper independent. I grew up with three siblings, so there's
Hmm.
four kids. I
Hmm.
was the third, but I would consider myself the emotional support child. Um, my therapist has also called me the parentified child and the spouseified child. So even though I'm the third child, I was the most um, I don't want to say the word competent because that feels insulting, but I was the most willing to act, let's say, in most situations. I was usually the emotional support in the sense that I would kind of like I was still crazy, like a crazy kid, but I would, listen to my mom talk about my dad or you know what I mean, be there for my
Yeah. Yeah.
mom
Yeah.
and offer support. And then I had a little brother and I always felt like I could care for him, take care of him and be there for him and be like, like the big sister. And I have an older sister and people always ask me if I'm older because she's 911. She's 911 Bermuda. And people always ask me if I'm older because I act like I'm older. And
Hmm.
it's like they've been asking. She's shorter than me too by like 3 inches or something, 3 or 4 inches. But like people always ask us
But it's
that.
an energy. I get it. Yeah. Like the
It's an
assertiveness
energy
and
for
also maybe
sure.
the like, uh, I'm just getting, I'm not getting a lot of like caretaker vibe from you, as
Hmm.
like as a energy or as an archetype. But in the family dynamic, that certainly was coming up,
Yes.
like we talk about life coach as a term for thriving too, but it's also kind of like I don't know, there is a kind of, a helpful seeing, like a gaze giving kind of thing that is thriving too. Right. So it seems like that was part of your place in the family system.
Yeah, like I liked to help out. I liked to take care of things. I like being domestic. I love decorating my house. I love making sure my house is clean and
Hmm.
I like taking care of things in the sense like I like taking care of my cats. I hope I have a child one day. Like I do naturally care for things. I find in most spaces I'm in, like I don't step into that role the same way like a 962 steps into that role, but like I can. Um and I find I'm a really good listener usually with my friends. Like I find, I end up sort of like being that for other people. And yeah, with my childhood, I definitely ended up like I was always the one doing chores and helping out and being the good girl. And I wasn't as like I was always crazy, but I never like I think because my dad was a really absent parent and I realized this as a really young kid and even at the age like even at like the toddler stage, I very much remember just kind of like writing my dad off as a parent that I couldn't depend on him.
Whoa.
Yeah, like I just sort of it's almost like knew I was like being raised by like a single parent. And then even my mom had to care for my dad and my other three siblings. So being social blind with 378, I became hyper independent. Like
I
just
see.
I care
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
myself and I almost feel like to an extent I raised myself. I had to
Yeah.
raise
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think that's what's led me into being it was like this situation where like I was just able, whether because of ADHD or whether because of who I am, who knows, but like I was just able to like assess the situation, see that my dad was just never going to be there for me like that. And then my mom is busy. She's got three other kids. She's got my dad. She's got her job, whatever, that like I have to just do this. And I just did it, So that sort of became my life, is being comfortable in these stressful and traumatic situations, like running a business, for example, because that was what my childhood was like. So, I kind of like, I depended on myself for safety. I depended on myself for support. I didn't like, I think it was high school when I really had my first real friendship develop with Joseph, where he was able to kind of like keep me in check because his boundaries are like so strict. And then I was able to help him tear some of those boundaries down because I'm completely boundaryless. So we really just like kikied and like vibed like immediately because we were just kind of what each other needed, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he like helped me a lot. And yeah, but I was hyper independent from a very young age, even though I grew up with like this huge family.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
that
I guess
definitely
I'm hearing I don't like a loner before Joseph. Um,
such a loner. Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
also it gave you that kind of this isn't maybe exactly the spot on phrase, but kind of like a ruthless pragmatism that allowed you to, for example, see through the farce of school. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Like like because like this is something I learned in therapy, but because of how stressful my life was, I had to learn how to assess quickly.
hmm
Like and
hmm
anticipate people's needs and anticipate people's emotions because
hmm
when you grow up in a dangerous situation, that's just like what you learn. That's
yeah,
what you have to learn. And I think being a competency type and being 378 like saved me from being like I'm still damaged, but from being as damaged as I could have been growing up in that situation. And
yeah,
instead, I was sort of able to like make diamonds out of dirt, I guess, in the sense,
yeah,
because
yeah,
I was like, I'm stronger than this. I didn't want to lean into being a victim. I didn't want any
hmm
of that. So I really just like pulled myself out of it.
yeah,
It's not easy. And I'm still, suffering and struggling with like the trauma. But like, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I was able to. Whereas, like, I love my siblings, but I don't know if they, like, each sibling has such a different experience. Even though you grew up in the
Yes, yeah,
same
yeah,
household, they're raised
right.
by different parents, right? So each
Yes,
sibling
yeah,
has
yeah,
such a different experience. Like, I don't, like, they weren't able to do what I was. They had their own experiences, not necessarily better or worse, but just their own experiences.
right,
So,
right. And you've been, I guess, what I'm wondering too is like this allergy you have to seeing yourself as a victim. Is that
mhm.
did you have to work with that, like for example in therapy, to like actually unpack the effect of all that stuff on you?
I never really talked about that. Not
Okay.
being able to, something Joseph and I actually talk about a lot because he'll be like, "Oh, you can never ask for help, or you don't like it when people try to help you." And I'm like, "No, I hate it."
hmm
But I
hmm
hate it honestly on like a different lens because I hate it in the sense that like I don't want you to help me unless you're going to do it the way I want it done.
yeah.
Does that
Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay.
So,
Some seven frustration there a little bit, but
yeah, so I'm
yeah,
like if you're not going
yeah.
to do it the way I want, then like just you can help me by leaving. Because if that makes sense, like that'll
Yes.
help me.
Right.
So, like
Yeah.
that's
That makes sense. Kind of a. I mean, you're so used to being self-reliant from an early age, so
Yeah. And even
yeah.
now, like sometimes I'm like with my business, I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'm just going to do it myself. Yeah, I do that
hmm
all the time. It's
hmm
actually like to my detriment because my workload is crazy right now, but it's because I'm like, I'm just
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
fucking do it myself.
Right.
So,
Right.
but yeah. Is that what you were looking
It's
for with
exactly.
the,
Yeah, that's what I
okay.
was wondering. I mean, I guess. Well, let me see how to put this. I'm not inviting you into a victim frame. I'm just more
No,
like
no.
wondering if that prevented you from, on some level, kind of like acknowledging the pain of it, or the impact of it, or whatever, and also like the practical consequences of it now. For example, being a business owner and struggling with
Hmm.
delegation because of this kind of reflex for self-reliance.
Yeah. Do you find delegating easy or
Absolutely not. No, it's I have.
okay.
Yeah, no, I do
Is it
not.
the same thing though? Like, is it a competency thing? Like, I don't think you'll do it as good, or what is it?
Good question. Yes, it is that,
Mm.
but there's more. Let's see.
This is interesting for me too, because I actually don't. I have one other friend who's a social three, but she's like very like we don't talk as much. I like her, but we don't talk. We were just sort of like acquaintances now. We were closer in the past, so I don't get a chance to talk to a lot of threes, and then threes who know the Enneagram. So it's just
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
interesting.
Totally. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Let's see. Delegation has historically been quite hard for me, and given how much is different about our typing, I'm curious what you relate to about this. But I think for me, there is this sense that um, this is like the fucking superiority hubris of three, but it's like I do think that I'm going to do a better job if I do something. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I just do have that as a baseline assumption. And it might not even be true. It might be delusional. You know, it might be that someone is like has done this thing before more times than I have or something. But I can carry a sense of like I'm probably gonna, I'll be able to figure this out. Um, and what I've struggled with is, and what I'm like really learning, like this is an active period of time for me learning this right now, is being being more vocal about, this is probably like 6 and 9 fixes stuff, but like being more vocal about the standards that I'm trying to hold something to. And then having an actual conversation with someone about, this is the vision of excellence that I'm holding for this, you know, and then
Yeah.
having other people opt into it, and not just almost preemptively be disappointed that someone is going to not want to hold the same level of excellence. Um, and actually, um, let's see.
I
Um,
think I know what you're saying.
yeah, there's almost like a brittleness that I've had around this. Like it's like I could get disappointed easily, you know.
Mm. I feel the same because when it comes to my business, it's like it's not even like it's not as simple like I can do it better. That almost feels inaccurate. It's
Uh huh.
that like I'm going to do this with all my knowledge, my vision, my care, how much time and
Yeah,
attention
I'm
I
gonna put my
put
whole
into
self into
thinking
this.
about this.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like how well I'm able to take a step back and look at the collective and the industry and what's happening, like how I'm able to really analyze. And I'm going to take all of that and my experience and put it into what I do for my business. Whereas, like, you're like never going to be able to do that. And how do I summarize that so that you understand how to take even an iota of that and apply that to you doing something for my business? Like, that's how I feel. That's why sometimes I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to do it myself because I'm like, I don't, I like, for example, my e-newsletters, I have tried to hire other people to do my e-newsletters.
Mm-hmm.
They never will write to my community with the same care and attention that I will. They will
Yes, I see.
never,
Right. That's right.
you know,
Yeah.
and maybe someday, like, there are some people who have not done a very bad job, that maybe just didn't work out for other reasons or whatever. But like, it's a good
Mm-hmm.
example because it's like it's something that you have to care about. And like someone who's maybe just doing it for a job or doesn't know anything about the
Yeah.
whatever, like they don't love it the
Totally.
way I do, they're not gonna apply that. So
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
it's like you have the standard and it's not something that you can easily summarize and be like, here, I'm going to pay you, make sure you do it like this. Like, I can't tell you that. Make sure
Yeah.
you do this how you like, you love it, and think about it at night crying
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if you don't
That's right.
make any money, you're going to have no money and starve or whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, sorry, I messed
Yeah,
that up,
and
but
no, totally. And also the standard is also like it's a standard not just of the quality of the final product, but also of the effort that one puts into it.
yeah.
And sometimes the standard is not something that's easily articulable, like it's a style or a tone of like how I want to write this, type description or something. And it's like it's not my style, so it doesn't feel as quote unquote excellent, but it's this like
Hmm.
subjective sense of excellence that's really hard to let go of. Um, and I had one other thing. I had one other thing.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. Oh yeah, I was gonna say I think also having a two wing um, makes this a little harder because I'm a little more reticent to give someone negative or constructive feedback because I can be afraid it's going to hurt their feelings. I don't know if you relate to that as much with
I
7 and 8
do.
fixes. You do. Okay.
I do
But yeah.
on two levels. So
Uh huh.
I same thing, and
Yeah.
then also like I'm so empathetic. So it's that, but also
Yeah. Yeah.
like I'm so empathetic, like I can't not like if I'm giving someone bad news and they feel bad, I immediately I'm like I feel what you're feeling, like I just absorb that.
Mm-hmm.
And then also
Wow. Even
growing
with two hexad fixes, that's amazing.
yeah. And
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 social
growing
blind.
up the way
Yeah.
that I did,
Yeah.
giving people bad news meant like maybe I was unsafe in some way, whether mentally or
Right.
physically. Like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
me in an unsafe situation. So it became really difficult for me to let people down
Mm-hmm.
over time.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you. It's hard to give feedback. But the way that I found a way to give feedback though that is better because I think with the 7 and 8, like 7 and 8 doesn't really care.
I know.
They're just
Yeah,
like,
you
you
just say
suck.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Or like I'll just say, I might not go into detail. It's just like I don't like this. I want to do it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
sometimes
Right.
my
Right.
staff hate that. They're like, oh my God, Lisa doesn't like me. I'm just like, I don't like this. I'm going to do it another way. And like they kind of have to get over it because it's like, well, it's my business. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. Um, maybe we come to a close.
yeah.
Is there anything else that I should have asked you that I haven't asked you today?
Oh God, I don't know.
Okay.
Probably, but it's okay.
Okay.
This was really great. It was so great talking to you. And like, I mean, it's nice to kind of dive into this. I love the Enneagram and like talking about being a three is great. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed this conversation. I learned a lot.
No,
And
thanks.
yeah,
Same.
no, yeah, this was great. Thank you for doing this, and yeah, just really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you for tuning into my conversation with Elisa. If you liked this conversation, then please click the like button or hit subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Or if you're listening to this as a podcast, you can leave up to a 5-star review if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, and also leave a comment. Those are free and very effective ways of supporting me and the show and the work that we do at the Enneagram School. If you are curious about the Enneagram and you'd like to learn more for the purposes of your own personal growth or teamwork or relationships, then come check us out at theenneagramschool.com. I recommend you get on our email list, which is where we will send weekly updates about new releases of podcasts, as well as we'll announce where we're doing new workshops and retreats and online classes and things of that nature. And I also recommend you check out our intro course, which is the place where we have kind of arranged all of the concepts that make the Enneagram in an accessible, bite-sized format for beginners. And also, it's a great review if you're an advanced student. If you think you'd be a good candidate to be interviewed on the show, then I'd love to hear from you. You can contact me through the enneagramschool.com. Just go straight to the contact form, shoot me an email. Let me know what type you are. And preference strongly goes to people who have been officially typed by the typing team at enneagrammer.com, who are, in my view, the world's most precise and accurate Enneagram typing team. You can check out their typing services at their website, enneagrammer.com, as well as check out their members area where you can watch them type celebrities in real time. Finally, I want to mention that this podcast is part of a larger consortium of Enneagram collaborators, and so I want to plug our sister podcast, Sensomnia, where the Dream Girls explore the relationship between dreams and the unconscious and the Enneagram, as well as House of Enneagram, which is a new podcast that all of our creative collaborators are contributing to under one creative roof. And so the links to all of this will be in the show notes. Go check that out, and thank you very much. That's it for me. I'll see you next time.